Picture this: a scammer trying to steal thousands of dollars from innocent people ends up sending me money instead. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened when I turned the tables on one of the most active tech support scam rings I've ever encountered. Hey, I'm Devin, and what you're about to see is how I spent 3 weeks tracking down a tech support scammer, gained access to his entire operation, and used his own banking details to make him pay for his crimes. Literally. It all started with this: a fake virus alert that's been showing up on thousands of people's computers. But unlike most scam baiters who just waste these guys' time, I decided to go deeper. Way deeper. Meet Richard Thompson. At least that's what he calls himself. His real name is Rajesh, and he's part of a massive scam operation that's stolen over $300,000 from unsuspecting victims in just the last 6 months. What Rajesh doesn't know is that while he was busy trying to fix my computer, I was actually hacking into his entire system. And guys, what I found was insane. We're talking detailed spreadsheets of victims, stolen credit card numbers, and something that would turn this whole thing upside down: his personal banking information. Let me break down exactly how I got into their system. These guys think they're smart, using encrypted connections and VPNs. But they made one rookie mistake. They used the same remote access software for every single victim. When Rajesh connected to my virtual machine, I was running a packet sniffer in the background. Every keystroke, every file transfer, every command he ran, I saw it all. But the real gold mine? He logged into his personal email while connected to my system. Rookie mistake number 2. This email account was like hitting the jackpot. Not only did it have conversations with other scammers, but it also had their entire playbook. Scripts, fake certificates, even training videos for new scammers. But check this out. They also had spreadsheets, tracking every single victim they've scammed. Just looking at these numbers makes my blood boil. $2,800 from a retired teacher, $1,500 from a single mom, $3,200 from an elderly couple. These aren't just numbers. They're real people who got their lives turned upside down by these scammers. But here's where it gets really interesting. Remember those banking details I mentioned? Well, Rajesh had a habit of saving everything on his computer, including scans of his own bank documents. And that's when I had an idea. Now I need to be clear about something. What I'm about to show you isn't about revenge. It's about documentation and getting justice for the victims. Every step I took was legal and done with one goal: gathering evidence for law enforcement. I set up a new virtual machine, completely clean, and waited for their next scam call. But this time, I had a surprise waiting for them. Thank you for calling Microsoft support. This is Richard. Hey Richard, I got this weird pop-up saying my computer's infected. Can you help? I played the role of a concerned customer perfectly. Let him run his fake scans, show his fake errors, and go through his whole script. But when it came time to pay for his services, sir, the total for our premium protection package will be $499.99. Oh, perfect. I actually have my checkbook right here. Let me just fill in these details. This is where things get good. Remember those banking details I found? Well, I was about to use them, but not in the way you might think. I started filling out the check with Rajesh's own banking information, the same account he used to collect money from victims. But instead of sending money to him, I was about to expose exactly how much evidence I had. Hey Richard, quick question. Is this your account number ending in 4721? The silence on the other end was deafening. How do you know that, sir? Oh, I know a lot more than that, Rajesh. I know your real name. I know you're in Mumbai. I know about the other 15 scammers you work with, and I know about all the people you've stolen from. The look on his face was priceless, but I wasn't done yet. I shared my screen, showing him the folder containing all the evidence I'd gathered, his scripts, his victim lists, his conversations with other scammers, everything. Here's what's going to happen. I've already sent all of this to the cybercrime units in your area. They have your real name, your address, and evidence of every scam you've pulled. But I'm giving you a chance, right now, to do the right thing. But here's where things get really interesting. While digging through Rajesh's files, I found something that changed everything. A payment routing sheet. At first it looked like just another victim list, but then I noticed something weird. The money wasn't going straight to their accounts. They were using something called money mules. People who sometimes don't even know they're part of a scam. The cash bounces between 5 or 6 different accounts before ending up in their main operation. And guess what? These same accounts kept showing up in other scammers' files too. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about Rajesh's small team. They were part of something way bigger. Like, way bigger. We're talking about a network of at least 50 different scam call centers, all connected through these same payment routes. These guys had operations running in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and even some spots in Eastern Europe, but they all reported to the same handful of people at the top. And that's where our next target comes in. Meet the guy I call the Director. Real name, unknown. Location changes every week. But this guy, he's the one pulling all the strings. And thanks to Rajesh's files, I now had a way to track him. See these chat logs? The Director checks in with each call center every morning. They use encrypted messaging apps, but they made one crucial mistake. They keep their conversation history. And buried in those chats was exactly what I needed, their operating schedule. Every single call center has to report their numbers by 2 p.m. their time. They send their stats to regional managers, who then compile everything and send it up to the Director by 4 p.m. Like clockwork, every single day. So I set up a monitoring system. Every time one of these reports went out, I was tracking it. Every IP address, every username, every single digital footprint they left behind. For 3 weeks straight, I watched and waited. And guys, the numbers were staggering. We're not talking about thousands of dollars anymore. These guys were pulling in millions. Each call center had daily targets of at least $5,000. Multiply that by 50 centers, working 6 days a week. You do the math. But what really got to me were the notes they kept about their victims. They specifically targeted older people, people living alone, anyone they thought would be an easy mark. They even kept track of the best times to call, when people were likely to be home alone, when they might be more vulnerable. They had this whole manual for new scammers. It taught them exactly what to say, how to sound professional, how to pressure people without seeming too aggressive. They even had scripts for dealing with people who tried to resist or ask too many questions. Check this out. They actually rated their victims. Green meant easy target, yellow meant needs more convincing, red meant too smart. Don't bother. They turned scamming into a science. But here's the thing about getting too organized. You leave patterns and patterns. Those are what I'm really good at finding. I started noticing something in their payment records. Every Friday, like clockwork, large amounts of money would move from those money mule accounts to a series of cryptocurrency wallets. And these wallets, they all fed into one master account. Now, tracking crypto isn't easy. These guys used mixers, multiple wallets, all the usual tricks. But remember what I said about patterns? Well, they messed up, big time. See, every time they moved money between wallets, they did it in the exact same way. Same time gaps, same percentage splits. It was like they were following a recipe. And once I figured out that recipe, I could predict exactly where the money would go next. But I didn't just want to follow the money. I wanted to shut this whole thing down. So I started gathering evidence. Every chat log, every transaction record, every single piece of data I could find. And I put together a package that no law enforcement agency could ignore. I reached out to cybercrime units in multiple countries, shared everything I had, and then we waited. Because timing was crucial. We needed to catch them during one of their Friday money moves, and that's exactly what we did. 2 weeks ago, at exactly 3:42 p.m. Mumbai time, law enforcement teams in 4 different countries moved in simultaneously. The timing had to be perfect. If one center got word of the raids, they'd warn the others. The results? 37 arrests so far. Over $12 million in frozen assets. And most importantly, they seized all their victim records, which means thousands of people are finally getting their money back. The recovery process is already underway. But here's the really crazy part. We didn't just get their current victim list. We got everything going back 3 years. Some of these people didn't even know they were scammed. They thought they really were paying for computer security. Right now, teams are working through the list, contacting every single person. And check this out. This right here. This is from Linda, a 72-year-old grandmother who lost $3,000 to these guys last year. She just got all of it back, and she's not alone. So far, over 400 people have gotten their money back, with more happening every day. But you know what's even better than getting money back? Making sure you never lose it in the first place. So let me show you exactly what these scams look like in real time. I've got hours of calls recorded. This one's from just last week. Listen to how they try to sound official while saying absolutely nothing real. Ma'am, I can see your computer has 147 viruses, and your network security is completely compromised. Foreign hackers are using your IP address right now. Notice what they did there? 3 classic tricks in one sentence. 1. A specific but totally made up number. 2. Technical terms that sound scary. 3. The threat of hackers to create urgency. These guys all use the same basic tools: Event Viewer, Task Manager, Command Prompt. All normal Windows tools that they use to make things look scary. Watch what happens when they type tree in Command Prompt. See all that text flying by? To someone who doesn't know computers, it looks like they're doing something complex. But it's literally just listing folders. That's it. It's like opening your File Explorer, except it looks more technical. So here's your scam proofing toolkit. 1. No legitimate tech support will ever call you out of the blue. 2. Microsoft, Apple, or any other company won't show pop-ups with phone numbers. 3. Real virus warnings don't have countdown timers or phone numbers. 4. Never give remote access to someone who called you. 5. If they start showing you Event Viewer or typing tree, it's definitely a scam. Here's what real virus warnings look like compared to scam ones. Notice how the real ones don't try to scare you with countdown timers or flashing red warnings. And here are the actual numbers for Microsoft, Apple, and other legitimate tech support. Save these in your phone. If you ever need help, call these numbers directly. Don't trust any number that pops up on your screen. Now, for those of you who want to help fight these scams, I'm putting together a complete guide. Everything I use to track these guys down, the software, the techniques, all of it. It'll be in my next video. Because here's the thing. We didn't just shut down one operation. We got their whole playbook, their training materials, their scripts, everything. And you know what that means? We know exactly what to look for to find others like them. There are still hundreds of these scam centers out there. But every time we shut one down, every time we help someone avoid getting scammed, we make it harder for them to operate. The story's starting to get attention. Major news outlets are picking it up. Law enforcement agencies are getting better at tracking these operations. But the most important part? People are learning how to spot these scams before they lose money. Remember Linda, the grandmother I mentioned earlier? She's now running a Facebook group teaching other seniors how to spot scams. She's helped over 50 people avoid getting scammed just in the last month. And we're just getting started. I've already identified 3 more major operations, each one bigger than the last. And trust me, they should be worried. Because here's what these scammers don't understand. Every time they steal from someone, every time they take advantage of people's trust, they leave digital footprints. And I'll follow those footprints no matter where they lead. Next week, we're going after a group that's been targeting small businesses. They've stolen over $5 million in the last 6 months alone. But they just made their first mistake. And you won't believe what we found in their systems. Hit subscribe to see what happens next. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one.